Are there any changes or adjustments to the agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. ESAC County Schools empower all students to become productive, responsible citizens of an ever-changing global society. We'll take a minute now for public input on non-agenda items. You're
Me?
up. You're up.
Alrighty. Well, it's my wife's birthday, so she said, "Are you going to cause a ruckus at the board meeting?" I said, "No, I'm not going to cause a ruckus tonight." But I want to thank you as board members for running again, and looks like we only have 3 of the 5 of you here tonight now, but I do want to say thank you, but I really also want to say, Donita and John, thank you for the service while I was here. I greatly appreciate it, and they were an asset to me. Hopefully Nate feels the same way. So that's what I just want to do, come and say thanks and continue to hope to hear good things about ESAC.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Is your farm keeping you busy?
Pardon?
Your farm keeping you busy?
Yeah.
Are there any other comments? Okay. If not, John, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, there's a financial statement in your packet again now. Not many comments on that. Then right behind that in your packet is a little one-page document I put together about the new budget process. And so the certification dates changed from April 15th to April 30th, and it's created a couple more steps throughout the process. So we'll have to be planning ahead when we get to the January and February board meetings to make sure we get everything in with all of our legal notices by the April 30th deadline. We'll have 2 public hearings in the new process. One of them on or after March 25th, and the other one on or before April 29th. So we'll have to work with the newspapers to get our 10 to 20 day notices in, and we'll lay that all out probably in the January or February meeting. But just kind of a heads up, maybe when you come to the January meeting, have your calendars so we can look at some dates to get all that stuff put together. And we'll have some March 15th deadlines internally for the Department of Management so the county can get notices out. So I would say no later than our February meeting, we want to at least look at our first draft. So we'll probably talk timeline and levies in January, and then look at a first draft of the budget in February and set our schedule. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That's all I got.
All right. And we will move on to administrative reports.
Becky's ill tonight, so her report was in the board packet. And Tony.
All right. So for mine, some things that I wanted to highlight from the 712 building. Some things we're doing in professional development. So looking at map testing that we had done before, kind of gathered all the data that we could on that, and we're looking at how we can use it to improve certain areas, or like what specific areas were we kind of more behind on, or what were kids proficient in, and kind of comparing those things. I actually had another document here that I was just looking at where we broke it down like by each grade. So this one's 7th grade English language arts, and it has every standard that they're supposed to teach in 7th grade. And then it kind of showed us which areas specifically we weren't proficient in yet. And we're going to try to look at those together as a group and see like where could we work on those, not just in the English classes, but in some of our other classes as well. So like, for example, one standard is distinguish their own point of view from that of the narrator or those of the characters. And so from that standard, there's like sub-points with it. And out of that whole thing, there's 2 of them that are highlighted blue on here because we weren't proficient in those. So we can look at understands how point of view differs among characters is one of the things we weren't proficient at. You know, how can we attack that? How can we approach that in different classes and try to help kids kind of understand those things? And that's some of like where our conversation is going to start. Look at each one of those specific things and how can we kind of reach those in different classes. I think the main point of what we started talking about was it's not just an English class that should be working on this. It can happen in other classes as well. So we got a really good breakdown of those, and we're going to start using those in professional development. I like the documents we have based off of that we've worked with the building leadership team to get. Some things that we've had happening that I also wanted to highlight from our foreign exchange program and things that we've been doing. We got a Global Education Excellence Award. This is from the previous year, but I think it highlights something really good in our building, that we always have a good amount of foreign exchange students in the building. They must feel really comfortable here from the fact that we got nominated and got that award. And we have 5 foreign exchange students right now, and they're all just some of the happier, brighter spots in the building too. Just some good kids, and I think that's a really good program to have us be that involved in, and to be able to get an award like that. The basic construction class that Eric McCullough has, first and second hour. I highlighted one of the things that we actually had on our Facebook page and our feed, talking about some things that they had done, like up in, I think one of them was at, if I can read from my notes here, the Iowa State Extension, and then they had they made like a garden area for a community garden, and some other things that they were like putting together that I think are good things in the community. But just this class overall, I mean, the kids, they do some really good things, and they get out of the building and do some things that you can see out in the community that I think is really good. And I wanted to make sure to highlight their work and Mr. McCullough's work with them. We just had our winter concerts through this last month. I thought the band and choir directors and everybody that we had, our teachers did a really good job with those, and put on some performances that I think were great things to showcase our kids. And I thoroughly enjoyed them too. But just being there and getting to see the kids, anytime I can see them, I've said this before, anytime I can see the kids outside the classroom in sporting events or these kinds of things, it's great to see those. But we had some pretty good performances here for the last month. I don't have too much else. I don't know if there's any questions for any things I talked about.
Maybe just to note too from the elementary, I know it was noted in here, but we are receiving some recognition, I think tomorrow, through the news for Sarah Davy and her snack program that she's doing at the elementary. So I think that's a really positive for the community. And so just wanted to point that out. I know it was in the notes, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow night that it's airing on, I think it's KTIV. So maybe just watch for that if you look for it.
Yep, KTIV
Okay.
was there today shooting the story. So, all right, a few things from me. Last week I attended ISFLC and learned a little more about school finance. This was a class I had previously taken to get my superintendent's license. However, when you're taking a class, that's when you're not in the position, you probably don't learn as much as you do when you're in the position. So I found it valuable, and I was able to ask a lot of questions. I'm sure there were some people in my class that got tired of me asking questions because most of them didn't know what we were talking about. So, all right. We continue to move forward on the playground project. There will be some more conversation. We'll get to that action item. The middle school is officially sold. We have closed on that property. We have begun posting positions for next year. We posted one today for an assistant principal / special ed director. And as the first year rolls around after break, we're going to be posting a few teaching positions that will be coming open, or are already open. We're getting closer to getting the live streaming of our basketball games and other events going. When that is officially done and we know that it's going to work, we're going to add a tab on the website that just says Watch Live. So when we are hosting any home games, people can just go to that website and click the link, and you should be able to stream our stuff. So, and on a personal note, I've just been really impressed with the growth that I've seen in the last 6 months here at the district. Both buildings, it seems like it's gone very quickly, so I'm assuming that's a good thing instead of it taking a long time. So this went fast, and I just want to say I'm impressed with the growth that we've made and the staff that we have working for us, and it's been a good 6 months.
Well, thank you to both of you and also to Becky for everything you've done this semester. I know it's always an interesting start when you have two new administrators in the role, but I think like you said, we've made it through the semester and hopefully moving forward and can get some of these spots filled as we roll into the next semester would be the good thing. So keep everybody's ears open if we have anybody moving back or anything like that. I think you'd appreciate any referrals.
Yeah,
we can get.
absolutely. And I mean, some things to note, we, with John retiring in that job, we were able to fill that.
Mhm.
And also we hired a PE teacher for the second semester, which is good. So I have a good feeling going into hiring season. We'll just see what we can accomplish. So.
Anything else for any of the administrators? All right. We will move on then to action items, consent agenda, minutes, bills, and I don't think we have any policies.
No policies this month.
I'm not sure if there's any questions on those from anybody. Just have any.
So you need a motion to accept.
Yes. There's no
I'll
questions.
make a motion, we accept the minutes and board bills.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the approval of the election results.
Yeah, in your packets, official abstract of votes after the two canvases, and Mark, Jackie, and Lori were reelected to 4-year terms. So we would need a motion to accept those results from Sac County.
I'll make that motion to accept the results from Sac County.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to accept the election results. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, elementary HVAC.
Yeah, so at our last monthly meeting, we held our time for public input on this, and since then, we've posted it, met all our legal obligations, and received 2 bids at our bid opening last Thursday. One was from Dries Company for $533,000. The second one was from Carroll Control Systems for $396,000, and an alternate for a different brand of rooftop units, which would have been $363,000. So at this time, I would recommend that we approve the bid from Carroll Control Systems and just say not to exceed $396,000 or $396,850, and then we can let the engineer make a decision on whether we're going to go with less expensive rooftop units or stick with the ones that were originally bid. In the bid, we did not call for an alternate, but this was something that the bidder took upon themselves to get a second price. So the engineer would like some more time before he makes a decision on which units. But in any event, the bid from Carroll Controls is going to be the best option. And if you recall, this has been approved by the DE for ESSER funding, and we have enough ESSER funds to cover this. So.
Well, I'm assuming any discussion or questions on that? I don't have any. I think it's something, it came within, we've got the funds, so.
Yeah, we were hoping 350, but that was a year and a half ago when we were talking about it too. So.
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve the elementary HVAC bid.
Or you want to specify Carroll Controls, correct?
Yeah, Carol's,
Okay.
yes. Correct, yes.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the elementary HVAC bid for Carroll Controls. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, playground plan and engineer.
All right, just to give everybody kind of an update where we are and things with this. We began negotiations with DLR Group. They're an engineering firm that has worked closely with Cunningham Playgrounds in the past. And they have proposed 2 different options that are in the board packet, 2 different timelines that we can approve to still get the project completed this summer. One of the timelines gives us an extra month to solidify our budget going into the project. And on that note, I have spoken with Julie a little bit about where we are in the grant process on things and what timeline might work best for us. They were confident that either timeline, whether we begin in January or we begin in February, will be able to get the work done. The lead time on the equipment was about 12 weeks, so that would still fall within the realm of being able to start at the end of May. So with that, I will kind of turn this over to Julie, just so she can kind of explain where we are in the grant process and then give a recommendation on how much time your organization needs to solidify a budget number based on the grant apps.
So right now, I'm waiting to hear back from Cases Grant. We applied for $50,000 through the school. And then I had the foundation apply for $50,000. They're not releasing those grants until February. That's when they will release. If we can get the whole $100,000, which would be amazing. I understand this is the finalization of the for the money. So I also have 2 other grants sitting out right now. One's for 11,000, one's for 18,000. I'm gonna write a $10,000 grant with this one, and then a Walmart grant also gonna write 50,000. So I'm hoping between all those, I can hopefully come up with the money we've been talking about to do the budget and its completion. Plus we've got some donations, the PTO has $3,700 they want to donate towards an item or a project or something of the sort. And I got some businesses yet, some of our major corporations in the area. I think I can get them to donate some money yet. So I'm pretty confident I can get the money needed. But I would like to have the timeline be in February so I can see how these grants fall out. And I can come up with a better idea. I hate to say something and then we cut ourselves short and then we get grants and have to reconfigure things. It's just easier to do it right the first time. And I think if I have that extra month, I can probably give you guys some better news. The Walmart grant will be awarded until May, so that'll be an after budget. But I've got some people who successfully written Walmart grants in the past. I would like the February timeline, just like that, be more successful in doing one. We're also looking to contact some people for some of their work in the city. We might do some of it at a reduced rate, like some of the labor to help us out, so we can
All right, thank you, Julie. So in the board packet, option 2 would establish that February timeline as far as the grant applications and the review meeting and then the notices for the board packet. That would be option 2. So if we go with that, the recommendation would be to work with DLR Group on the engineering side of the playground and then pick option 2 for a timeline.
That seems to make sense to me. If we're not going to run into any construction issues with the start of school, it looks like they have. I mean, it's close. It's cutting it a little close for the start of school, but hopefully there won't be any delays. Hopefully. And hopefully we stay, because I'm assuming if they start demolition, they would start that after school gets out. So we'd also need no school snow days for delays too, correct?
Correct. A lot of it is pending. Every school wants their playground rebuilt in the summer, so it'll be how many projects different companies take on, and then the scheduling of getting everything done.
Okay.
So with any construction project, you can have a tentative timeline, and then that can change. But we would do everything in our power to ensure that we're ready to go for school when we start on the 23rd.
And this group's worked with a lot of schools in the area, and they've worked with this company before. Yeah, we need an engineer based on the estimated cost of the project, so this is probably about as efficient as we're gonna get an engineer to help us out.
Any questions or comments?
So I'll make the motion that we go with DLR Group option 2.
And I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to go with DLR Group option 2 for the elementary playground. All of those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Again, thank you for all your work, Julie.
I'm thrilled I finally made it to be an action item.
It's an action item. It's a done deal. So we'll move into the bidding process and hopefully we'll get some good word back on those grants for some additional funding so we can do the bigger project. That would be the,
Shot to improve my name.
sounds good. All right, next up we have the dropout prevention supplemental aid.
Yep, this is an annual event that we do typically in December every year. So it's based on cost per pupil and certified enrollment. But we apply for the modified supplemental growth here, and then we incorporate it into our budget this spring, like these things we've done the last couple of months. So for this year, the amount is $315,903 with a required local match of $105,301. Last year it was about $10,000 less, so it hasn't changed a whole lot. So it's not going to have a big impact on tax rates or anything. But I'd recommend we approve this request for modified supplemental amount in the amount of $315,903.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve the modified supplemental aid. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, personnel items.
There are going to be 2 additions to what was in the board packet that came in today. So on the resignations would be Donita Mork as the administrative assistant effective January 19th. And then the one that came in today would be Sammy Bruce, and she was preschool and a TLC coach. As far as offers out there, Tyler Roos, school business official, effective January 3rd, 2024. And then the addition would be Cassie Branham, would be an elementary associate.
Any questions? Or?
I'll make a motion to, no, I don't have questions. I'll make a motion to accept the resignations and the offers.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve the personnel items. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is Sammy's effective end of the school year?
End of the school year, yes.
I believe she just gave us early retirement notice so that we could fill the position, which is much appreciated. Get that posted. All right. Any additional board items or communications before we adjourn this meeting and roll to organizational meeting? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. And I'll turn it over to Nate.
All right. For the second meeting of the evening. Our organizational meeting for the East Sac County Board of Directors. I will call the meeting to order at this time. I would seek a motion and a second to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, motion carries.
I'm
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody
Now
voted?
we voted.
Thanks, John. First time. All right, discussion action items. Oath of office.
So we'll give the oath of office to our 3 newly elected members. Go ahead and stand up. Do you solemnly swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of Director in the East Sac County Community School District as now or hereafter required by law.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I will seek nominations for board president.
Well, I will make that motion. Jackie is board president.
And I will second.
We have a nomination and a second for Jackie. So at this time, nominations will cease, and now we will vote. So those all in favor of Jackie becoming board president?
Aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
3 ayes.
There we go. At this time, I will turn the meeting back over to Jackie.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the election of our board vice president. So I'd open the floor up for nominations.
I'll nominate Brent Wilhelm for vice president.
And I'll second.
We have a nomination and a second. So I will cease nominations at this point and call for a vote. All of those in favor of Brent Wilhelm as vice president?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I'll get a hold of Brent to do the oath for vice president. Jackie?
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of president in the East Sac County Community School District as now or hereafter required by law?
I will. Okay, so first up is determining the time, date, and place of the regular monthly meetings. I think we'll do this one and then we'll do the rest of the appointments together, if that's okay, in a motion.
So currently, the meeting times are the third Monday at 6:10 at the high school.
Still good with that.
I have no problem with that either.
I know we always ask the paper guy.
I know there's a conflict.
Is there a conflict?
There's a, yeah.
You're not gonna change for me, so.
It seems to have fit pretty well in most schedules, I would say. So if we're good with that, we'll continue with the same date and time and location.
You need a motion for that or not?
Yeah, unless we include it with the rest of these, but let's just do this one and then we'll go on to the rest.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we have our monthly meetings at the third Monday at 6:10 p.m. at high school.
I second.
Motion and a second to approve the meeting time. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, we have all of the appointments. I'm gonna scroll down here.
And those were included on the last page of your.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I make a motion, we just keep them the same.
I have no problem with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have any issues.
No, the ones on.
So we have the motion.
I'll
Is there
second.
a second?
Yep, I'll second.
A motion and a second to continue with the same appointments as listed. Those were included in the board packet. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, check my list here. Future board meeting date then would be January 15th. I believe that is the PD day, no school day.
That is caucus.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say, I don't think that, because I have to caucus that night.
So with that, there's probably a few other things going on. Mr. Kraft is taking vacation that week prior to the board meeting. If that is caucus day, I would propose the 22nd.
To go back a week, because with the holiday anyway, that works. That works for me.
That works for me also.
I'm sure it works for me.